It would be foolish to believe that any one person has complete knowledge over their specialty. Change occurs randomly and compels us to embrace it all or fall behind. This ideal has been recorded as far back as the first century, according to the Corinthians 8:2. The one who thinks he knows something does not know as he ought to know. How would any of us be any different? The transition that technology has taken us, for instance, continues to evolve and impact us globally. Everything that touches the global economic status is cause for change. Certainly, the process of changing the structure of one's mental models that have been developed over a lifetime is challenging, but it's necessary. We as a society must continually ask the question of what does it mean to act in the world and not on the world? For myself, it was necessary to research several aspects of Otto Scharmer's publication Theory U to not only begin my process of mastering leadership qualities, but also to gain a full understanding of what worked in the past that may be useful now. Though much of what I've experienced overlapped with the latter, the knowledge that was gained during the 2020 summer group collaborations was invaluable. What intrigued me the most about Scharmer's theories struck that previous set of responsibilities, the responsibilities I held in the director's chair. Maintaining control of a film production is a self-discipline where one must realize where change may be appropriate to the story, and only to the story. It's a juggling act, stated director and producer David Fincher. He goes on to explain that the purpose of the scene is what it's all about. The requirements of the 2020 summer group collaboration were outlined at the stage of each project. Yet conflicts continued to rise that included confusion of due dates, even though they were clearly noted in the procedure. It was interesting to observe the fine line of my responsibilities as a director managing a multi-unit crew compared to meeting with 3 other people to complete group projects long distance. For example, set designs are always possible, but any changes should be made when all points have been considered. And all points must be discussed with every crew member. What is good for one crew member may not work for the other. As Goldberg wrote in 2012, the director's vision is important, but he or she must rely on the knowledge of the crew to bring that vision to life convincingly as a motion picture. Communication and the ability of the director to view the opinions of the crew on which the success of the project lies is invaluable. Scharmer reinforces this ideology in Theory U, more specifically in chapter 17, and that chapter is entitled Conversational Actions. Absencing, Scharmer describes, is a form of self-sabotage. And I quote him, "Your authentic self and the relations that you have with the authentic core of key players." So self-importance fills the void that you're making and causes you to lose touch with what is really happening and what needs to happen. I have experienced this occurrence while participating in student group projects over several years, but the student group projects still only have a few members. Interestingly, I have yet to experience this same type of confusion or lack of communication in a professional atmosphere where there could be thousands of players. So could the reason be due to the students' employment priorities being raised over the responsibilities of non-pay school projects? Maybe. It could be any number of reasons. What does not change is the lack of communication. But even on the part of one person, that lack of communication can cause any project to fail. There may be a previous pattern that continues to grow, that lack of communication. So Scharmer describes this to the reader. That the only way to overcome this pattern is by opening the mind to acknowledging the cycle of communicative absencing first, and then correcting the behavior. I found common ground again between my previous professional experience and the current issues of academic group project work. The question here should be answered as, I understand that, and that's me in there. No ego, as Scharmer describes, but putting yourself in the situation. Storytelling is not simply related to creative productions. True storytelling can be properly addressed in a creative or corporate industry, whether it is to improve a professional environment or achieve success as a student. It should be used to explain a process or vision of how a project should progress to a successful completion. But to do so, one must build on previous experiences. So to connect with Scharmer, Charlie Rose conducted an interview in 2014 that included a list of 25 ways to be a better director. This list was a publication of a film director, Sam Mendes. He's also a film producer. In it, Mendes referred to revisiting older ideas and eras in order to build on the new. Rose summed up the 25 as, you've got the vessels, all you have to do is pour in the experience. The only path to act in the world and not on the world is to step back, refer to the past experiences, and analyze the situation to reach the most favorable outcome. By identifying key stakeholders, one maintains that source connection. By remaining empathetic in listening to the opinions of others, generative listening can move the project toward the future goal. This form of listening is what Scharmer refers to as the open heart. It leads to total communication and acceptance of change for improving situations.